So let's go into talking a little bit about whistleblowers and U.S. politics. Back on October 2nd, I said this: I don't expect any U.S. politician, certainly not Trump, to show whistleblowers the respect they deserve in any concrete way. They are seen as enemies of the state, even if their motives are to save the state. Call me cynical, but even someone like Tulsi Gabbard is only giving lip service. This was in response to Cassandra Fairbanks, who had been talking about Chelsea Manning, who helped Julian Assange and WikiLeaks with getting some of their releases to do with the U.S. military. And I believe it was the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Of course, she's saying, why is Chelsea Manning sitting in jail for refusing to testify against Julian Assange? So, this is a difficult topic for me because I have a number of videos out and I've put a ton of tweets out about how I love Julian Assange. I'm a big fan of his. I believe in free speech. I believe that he should be free because he's a publisher, of course. But I see the friction with why he's being treated this way by the U.S. government, because he deals in classified information. And of course, if the U.S. government allows classified information to be, released without any sort of consequences, that's something that they just simply can't do. Like, I totally sympathize with that position by the U.S. government or any government. You release classified information, they see that as a crime. That's difficult because I think that we need more transparency. I think that we need to be able to see what's going on. I think there's a level of transparency that people can't. I think that there's too much transparency in some ways. Like, it's better not to know how the sausage is made for certain citizens at certain times. I admit that. But I liked the way that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks and other whistleblowers and leakers and things like that expose the truth. Like, I think that the people deserve to know the truth. But at the same time, I have to look at the government and go, well, if all the classified information were let out, it could be a national security crisis, and that would affect me as an American citizen. So I don't, it's hard for me sometimes with Assange. Like, I'm pretty much hopeless on Assange being released. He's probably going to die in prison. So I don't expect any U.S. politician, certainly not Trump, to show whistleblowers the respect they deserve in any concrete way. They deserve respect because sometimes they're operating for personal reasons or commercial, monetary reasons. They're doing it for them. But I think there is this moral question of how much, if we live in a free country, the United States of America, with a constitution, and we have, this independence, we're independent, but then we have the secrecy and the privacy of government, and that, it's not, by the people, for the people, if the people don't know everything. But is it sort of like better to have cognitive walls or any kind of force to stop people from knowing the truth because it might just demotivate them? Maybe you need a little bit of that psychology, their psychology, to be better, so they continue to work and so they continue to live their lives without fear and anxiety. Sometimes it's better not to know the whole truth and just be blissfully ignorant in some contexts. So I think they deserve some respect, but at the same time, I understand, again, the friction. They're seen as enemies of the state, even if their motives are to help to save the state, which seems like a contradiction. But again, contradictions don't really exist. That's just missing information, and they're not going through a process. They're leaking things to the public. Usually they're, with WikiLeaks and Assange, they curate things, they make sure they redact what they need to, but you know, the government doesn't want its private files just being released all willy-nilly. You know what I mean? I totally get it. Call me cynical, but even someone like Tulsi is only giving lip service. And I say that again because, frankly, I don't see a change happening. I don't care if Donald Trump is president, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. I don't care if Mickey Mouse is president. But I don't think you're going to see them letting up on these whistleblowers. So a little bit of a black pill on that, but I urge anybody that's looking to leak information, go ahead and do it. I'm looking forward to receiving the higher truth. And I hope, as long as you're not harming or putting lives in danger, and people were claiming that WikiLeaks was doing that, but they redacted enough. There weren't really any names. Covert operations wasn't compromised with WikiLeaks, If you can do that and kind of illuminate, of course they illuminated with the Democrat Party, what they were up to, and I'd love to see WikiLeaks or another organization reveal what's going on with the Republican Party, because we have the election year. It would be very interesting to see an October surprise for either or both of the political teams in the United States.